Hi everybody, welcome to what is going to be part 2 of making our Simple Vintage Traveler box set of books. And we're making the envelope flap, and I'm going to apologize right now. I was editing the video, went to do this part, and realized this whole section was out of focus. So I'm having to record this after the fact. Hopefully you'll be able to understand what I'm doing. And it's just making the envelope part. So what I want you to do, I used an envelope punch board. If you don't have one of these, oh my goodness, my kitties are having a big wrestling match back there. No crying. It's not fun if somebody's crying. Anyway, so if you don't have one of these, you could purchase an envelope that'll fit, or go online and Google envelope template. There's millions of them, and make your own envelope. But this is how I did it. I had the inserts, and let me see, let me get the book out so you can see what I'm talking about, because of course everything's finished at this point. All right. Okay, so we're talking about this little envelope. And measure your insert that you have. And I knew that I had, a certain size, and I needed to make the envelope a certain size. So this envelope finished about 4 1/4, a little less, by 3 1/4. All right, so there really wasn't anything that was quite the size I wanted. The closest I could find was card size 3 1/2 by 4. So that's what I did, and that's 6 1/2 by 6 1/2. You cut your square. Cut 2 of these. Cut one out of this white, cheap white cardstock, or whatever cheap cardstock you have, and one out of your actual brown artisan cardstock, or whatever cardstock you're using. So cut 2 of them. And we're going to start with this white one. And we're going to go here where it's this one here, and it says use the 3 1/8. So to do that, you line this edge up with 3 1/8. So, and then you score along this line and punch. Then you line your previously scored up line. I'm rushing a little bit just because I've done this already 3 times. Okay. Whoops. And you must score and punch and score and punch. All right, set this aside for the moment. I'm going to get out your scoreboard. Using my little one. Now, the problem that I have, this width is good, but it's much too high. So what I want to do is bring this down about 1/2 inch. Okay, and the easiest way that I found to do that was to lay this in my scoreboard with the already scored line. Well, wait a minute, on the 1/2 inch or the inch, wherever is convenient for you. What you could do if you wanted is fold this and just lay it right up against there, if that's easier for you. Find the 1/2 inch. Oh, I've got this sitting very funny. I hope you can see it. Let me do it this way. I'm trying to find a way that you can see it. And then score a 1/2 inch. All right, like that. Can you see that I've got that extra score line now? Maybe on the back you can see it. Set this aside. Get out our scissors. And you're going to cut right along this. And then up. Whoop. And then there. Okay. Just going to cut that out. And one thing I found is tapering this just a little bit is going to help you in the long run later. All right, there we go. I'm just smoothing that edge. Okay, so now fold on the new score line. There we go. Okay, so this is now the template. And if you want to round the edges, just get your, you can use a corner rounder if you've got one, or you can just go ahead and use the one on the back of the envelope punch board. Okay. I want you to take this piece, lay it on your cardstock. You're going to have to do it at an angle, just so you know. Here's your square. Lay it on your cardstock square, trace, and cut it. Then you're going to score here from each of these corner to corner to corner to corner. That will be your envelope, right? And the sides fold in like this, and I'll show you this part in the video. That part is in focus. This folds up and that folds down. Okay, so that would be your envelope. However, you also need to make templates for your mats for this envelope. And let me show you how to do that. Get out a clear ruler. Let's see, one that has 1/8 inch marks. I'll use a Tim Holtz. And a pencil. And then I'm just gonna mark, oh, that pencil wasn't right, hang on. Okay. We'll use a pen. All right, so this is gonna be the top. This is gonna be the right, the left, and the bottom. When you're tracing these onto your pattern paper, you're going to need to make sure, for instance, like this one here, you're going to be matting this side. Right? All of these actually are going to be, the mats are going to be on the outside. So the side that, except for this one, you're going to need to do both sides. And this one, you're just going to measure. So you remember when you lay these down on your pattern paper, the side that has the writing is going to go face down. Okay? So what you're going to do to make your templates is just take the 1/8 inch line, put it against the edge, and draw a line. This is now after you've cut out your base, your cardstock envelope base. You're going to do this for all of your pieces. And that, and just repeat this for all four. You're gonna cut out the new pieces on this line, round this one if you want to, and now these will be your templates for cutting out your pattern paper. Okay, I think that's clear, and now I'm going to be able to resume the original footage that I shot where it comes into focus. All right, so go ahead and make this. You're going to do, to make the whole thing, put it like this on your square of cardstock, trace it and cut it out, score it here, then you're going to go ahead and make your templates. All right? Okay, I'll see you in a minute, and we'll continue on. Right, so we have, all right, so we've cut out I've cut out my templates. So let me show you, because I want to show you how to cut these. It's not tricky, but you have to bear in mind a couple of things. All right, so here is, this is how we had it laid out. Well, actually, I think we probably had it like that, but let me see. All right. And there's the top. Okay, so there's our templates. Let's see if you can see these. Okay. And what you need to bear in mind when you cut these is, I'm trying to remember, hang on, not remember, but I want to have it laid out exactly the way I had it when I showed it to you. All right, so this was like this, and then that, and that, and this, okay? And the thing you need to remember is this is going to fold. So you need to cut things the way they'll show properly, right? So if I had folded this with these up and in, I'm going to end up with my templates backwards. Does that make sense? For instance, let me grab a scrap of paper. All right, so here's, well, it's not scrap. This is what I actually cut them out of. So let's say I took this piece here and laid it on here with the R up, the R facing up instead of down like that. That's fine because this piece is going to go here. But if I had folded this the other way, let me turn it over. If I had folded it this way, right? Well, this is where I want the template. So bear that in mind. I hope that makes sense. That just make sure that you have these templates on the side where they're supposed to go when it's folded. That's particularly important when it comes to this upper flap, because what you're going to need to do with this flap, so these are pretty straightforward. You can lay them on the paper you want, trace them, cut them out. The top one, you're going to need two pieces. One you're going to cut this way, and the other one you're going to turn over and cut this way, because again, these are hand cut envelopes and it's not going to be exactly the same size all the way around. And let me show you one. So here's one I've already done, and you can see it has two mats. This is the insert. Here's the polka dots. This we'll do later, and I have attached the flap, which I'm going to show you how to do. All right, so hopefully that made sense to you. So these three will all get the mat on the outside, and the top will get the mat on the inside and the outside. All right, and let me just fold that down. And just make sure it's not catching on anything. And we're also going to use a magnet on this for when we attach it later into the book. So let me grab a magnet. Well, I always have a hard time with my magnets because they're always stuck together. Okay, I think that's two. See, yeah, that's two. Just one. Okay. All right. So here I cut my mats, and I have this. This one's going to be the inside of the envelope, and this one's going to be the outside. All right. Now, these and this we haven't rounded yet, so let me go ahead and do that. You don't have to do it on the side ones, it's not even going to be visible. And there's my two pieces. The other thing you need to be careful about, I'm sorry, I keep telling you, be careful of this, be careful of this. It's really not that hard, don't be scared. But one thing I do need to do though is trim that. It seems to be rubbing. All right, let's see how that's better. That's better. Okay. All right, again, so your envelope is going to, your top flap is going to go this way. So if your pattern has a direction, like this one has this little airplane on it, make sure you cut it in such a way that it's going to be right side up with the point at the bottom. Okay? All right, let's get started with this. I think I've given you so many warnings. I hope I haven't scared you off. All right. I am using Vintage Photo in this particular book. I think it goes really nicely with this paper collection. And so I'm just going to ink everything. Actually, you know what? I inked the wrong side of that one. There we go. Up. Again, if you do not want to be bothered with this whole envelope situation, you can just do a flap. And the last one. And I haven't cut a lining for this envelope. I haven't decided what I want to do, if anything. I'm not sure a lining is necessary. Okay, now. All right, I'm going to show you this. I'm not putting this piece on yet, but I wanted to show you. These corners are a little bit rounded on this, so I just took my scissors and gently rounded those corners, just eyeballed it. Okay, but we're going to start with these two pieces. Okay. Now, it does not matter which one you do first. One is going to be over top of the other, but it really is not going to even be noticeable, so it doesn't really matter. That. All right, now, before we do the bottom one, we got a couple of things we have to do. Okay, we can actually, if we want to, we could just tack these two sides together. Just like that. And what we need for the bottom is a piece that is 1 inch wide by 4 inches long. Score down the middle at a 1/2 inch. Fold it in half. That's for my glue. And then we are going to just trim like that. Okay, so you end up with that. And what we want to do is take and put glue on one side of this. This is going to be the hinge that's going to cause our envelope to flap. Okay, and then you want to, now this is just a hair shorter than the envelope itself. So just go ahead and center it on the envelope. And you can make it a little longer if you like. I just like to make mine shorter. I feel like it it looks a little better. I don't know. I just like it that way. Now, there's a fair bit of bulk here, so what you might want to do if you need to is just throw a couple of these little tiny clothespins or paper clips or something on it until it dries. Right, so we'll leave that for a moment while we do our top flap. And I'm going to put the yellow stripe on the inside and the airplanes on the outside. Okay. And now this one we're going to cut later. And this, what we're doing right now, is probably going to be the fussiest thing we have to do in this whole album. It's all downhill from here. It's kind of why I like to do it first. Get it out of the way. Alright, and then, let's get that out of the way. Before we put this bottom mat on, we also need to add our magnet. And I'm not going to magnetize this flap because I think I'm just going to use some sort of physical little tuck for it. Because if I used a magnet on here that had to go there, I'd have to put it too high up. It would be too hard to mat. I just don't want to deal with it. And plus, I'm trying to not use so many magnets. All right, let me find here it is, score tape. And I'm just putting a little bit of tape on the back of my magnet. And I'm just going to put it about there. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and these are probably dry enough. Sorry, I just realized I was doing that off camera. And that's just going to go right over that flap. All right, and now we just need to glue this down. And go. And then this is one of those little cut aparts that we just folded in half. That goes in there. Just tuck it in, make sure it fits, and that we haven't glued the pocket closed. Okay, that looks good. And again, I'm going to put a manual tuck of some kind here to close the envelope. All right. So there's our two envelopes, one for each book. And of course, you're probably only making one book, so you only needed to make one. All right, we'll set those aside. Now, so this envelope is going to get attached here like this, just about centered on the page. Okay, And you can use score tape or you can use wet glue. And normally I would use the wet glue for this, but there's a lot of, I just feel like there's a lot of bulk here, and I might have a hard time getting that to hold while it dries. I think I'm going to use score tape. I need a wider piece though, that's too narrow. And this piece is probably too fat. I'm out of my favorite 3/8. I've got 1/2 inch and I've got 1/4 inch. So I've attached some score tape. And I'm just going to eyeball. I'm going to put it in just a hair from the edge because I don't want it to interfere. I want to be able to open it. All right, so just play with it and make sure it's moving. And then you want to add your other magnet before you mat this. Let me grab another magnet. And I'm just going to open that flap. And grab a scrap of paper. Oh, that's a mess. Grabbed it out of my real scrap heap. Okay, there we go. And now, I think I'm going to map this while I have it open. Oh, let me get another ruler. This one, I find this one easier to read. All right, so I'm going to cut that 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. All right, and I'm going to use this adorable balloon. That with my vintage photo. I hope you haven't found this envelope too fussy to make. And again, if you have, just make a flap. You don't need to make the envelope. It'll look just as nice as a flap. looks cute. That is so cute. This paper is just adorable. And again, we're going to put a little physical something here to hold that flap down. Cute. Okay. All right. I think we've done enough. I've made enough mess. Let me clean up my situation here and we will move on. But I think that's enough for today. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you don't have too much trouble with this envelope. And I will see you next time, and we will go ahead and move through these pages and get our book going. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit like if you've enjoyed this video, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.